taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Dr. Chad on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. It's Monday, May 12th, 2025. Big bounce in the markets last night after the trade deal between China and the United States. Dow futures up 1076. NASDAQ futures up 791. S&P futures up 175. VIX down 10.75%, down to 19.54. So we'll have to see how the markets finish today, but they're gonna open up quite a bit. So we'll see if they can maintain that or if they'll pull back throughout the day. Hopefully, just get a nice up day of chop, all the movement done during the pre-market hours. That would be lovely. As far as news goes, there's not really anything here going on today. But, things could pop up, as we all know, middle of the day. It's gonna be hard to short something today, that's for sure. Morning, Abash. Definitely will be looking at key levels, see where things have bounced. There is the bell. No 1 DTE today. VIX down. Also, CPI is tomorrow, so we'll see how that affects the VIX as well. Initial push down here out of the gates. PLTR coming down, SMCI pushing up. A little bit of two-way action here. Microsoft, Netflix, Tesla, actually most Apple, all these stocks coming down. S&P futures down about 20 points on this bar. Amazon up 8.5%. One of the stronger stocks. PLTR coming down to close to where bounce happened overnight. NASDAQ came down there in that first 5-minute bar. Coinbase pushing up. Really, the two things you look at it whenever you have these big overnight moves is, do they continue higher, or is the big overnight move as high as it's going to go? Amazon's still coming down. VIX still coming down. Tesla was one of the stronger stocks, but it's come down quite a bit. Microsoft still coming down. So not really sure which direction this is going to go here. Morning MRP. BABA getting a big volume bar to the downside. I haven't traded BABA in a while. Let's see what their options look like. Kind of juiced. They got earnings this week. Tesla through lows, Nvidia through lows, Microsoft through lows, Amazon through lows. So that's interesting. NASDAQ through lows. S&P's not really moving. Let's see what's holding up here. Goog's holding up here. Not coming down with the rest of these. Pretty nice pullback in Amazon. Yeah, Bob is still pushing down. Looking at Goog, because if this market bounces, Goog's holding up. I'm going to look to get long Goog here out of the gates here on the 160 calls. Let's see. Put an order at one. Now, I was going to say 150. Let's jump in here. Filled at 159. On the 160 calls. Goog was holding up there. I would close half at 175. VIX still coming down. Now Goog's coming down a little bit. Tesla threatening lows of day. Yeah, so now Goog's coming down further than I wanted it to. Needs to hold right here. Let this bar finish. Tesla coming down through lows. So I thought we'd see a little more stronger market here in terms of continued upside. S&P has been in about a 30-point range over the 13 minutes the market's been open. Yeah, that's one thing I mentioned to Bosch is like either don't get any continued upside or it continues to push up throughout the day when you have these big overnight moves. And it could be getting a little bit of profit takers out of the gates, and then it continues to push up. That can happen too. Seeing that happen a lot. Yeah, VIX was still been going down, so premiums are getting narrow. 30-point move is a pretty good move for these VIX going down. Yeah, that's right. VIX is under 21. I would love to see a bounce down here out of Good, get back up there. Boeing had a little mighty 90 long. Good hanging out just below where I got in. Goog not able to rebound here yet. Yeah. Let me go ahead and get out of my Goog. It's just not doing what I wanted it to do. It was holding for the first two bars, but filled at $1.42. Just did not hold. Boeing has a mighty 90 long. Let's go look at getting long Boeing here on this mighty 90. 195 calls. Filled at 242. That's the 195 calls in Boeing on a mighty 90. Put Boeing up here. See Mighty 90 here. And it's already bounced up. We'll close half here. Filled at 275 to close half. I would close another one at $3. Looking for 2 consecutive green bars out of Boeing. Pretty choppy for the S&P out of the gates, I can tell you that. So we've got 1 green bar out of Boeing. Be nice to get this second green bar right here. Filled at $3. Get out of another Boeing at $3.25. Microsoft coming down to lows of day. Looks like Boeing's going to give us our second green bar here. Filled at $3.25 to close another Boeing. Got 3 left. I'm going to go ahead and close my Boeing here on this mighty 90. Filled at 330 to close. So real nice mighty 90 there. Now look at Goog. It bounced back. Just what I figured it would do. Real nice winner in Boeing. Yeah, PLTR pushed up. Let's come back down a little bit. S&P pretty choppy out of the gates here. And Goog right back down. Little spike in the VIX here. Not currently in anything after getting out of that mighty 90. Pretty choppy here. Microsoft pretty choppy at lows. What is that? AVGO? AVGO straight up. No, that's CrowdStrike. CRWD straight up. Right, S&P coming back down, nearing lows of day. We'll spike up in the VIX here. Yeah, good out in Goog, just doing nothing. Tesla somewhat holding up here. If it breaks above that last green bar, I could see that Tesla just going on a run. Pretty choppy, not a ton of opportunities right now. Apple, it's trying to get back some of its losses in the first 10 minutes. Oh yeah, there's a executive order. Forgot to mention that about drug prices. I think I'd rather be. I think I'd rather be long right now if I was long. If I was in anything, because I'm sure he's going to get questions about the tariffs, even though he's signing something over drug prices, prescription drugs. A lot of times they can't. He takes questions that very, very rarely is on the topic that he's on there originally for. Pretty low volume, though. You look at Amazon and Apple, even Tesla, Meta. It's just not a ton of volume coming in here. Glad I didn't do a downside volume runner in Baba. Pretty choppy out of the gates here, though. Meta and Apple continuing higher. Amazon, initial push down. And it's done nothing but slowly grinding up here. But just not finding a lot of good setups. Yeah, this is it's one of those days where it's like, in TLC, like I always talk about how you're looking for two pushes, but then you've got, something like this that happened overnight. It's not normal, right? It's like this is something that you see daily, so that then in turn affects the market on how it when it opens. And yeah, so today it's just been a chop fest with the S&P and Nasdaq out of the gates. I don't know if it's waiting to hear this press conference he's having, or the gap up was just so big it's now just going to chop. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, there hasn't been a push in either direction. Yeah, he's been on the mic for a while here. PLTR coming back down to lows of day. That's interesting. Almost like a bounce there because it's where it bounced before. I'm just going to keep my eye on PLTR. Yeah. Tesla trying to get above its little consolidation it's been in. I think I'm going to get long PLTR here on this little bounce, or where it's bounced before on the 118 calls. Filled at 303. It's where it's bounced before. If it breaks through lows, I'll just close it. I would close half at 330. And you kind of see this is where PLTR had bounced once, and you can kind of see pre-market where it had this big push up. Real choppy. I mean, at some point you would think we'd break out a little bit one way or the other. This is where it's difficult about putting on like a a TLC trade or something delta neutral, because it's like, well, geez, it's like just not doing nothing but chopping. Let's jump in and get some theta decay, but then it's like, okay, well, when's it gonna move? When's it gonna move out of that? You know. I don't see any stocks up at highs of day, really. PLTR coming back down now. It had an initial push up. Now in the red. Man, this is choppy. Not much chopping. Yeah, almost too choppy. It's just. So I'm in PLTR. MSTR coming down through lows of day. Yeah, I thought Tesla might be pushing up, but well, there goes Meta. Meta's moving higher. It's kind of what I wanted. I was looking at maybe Tesla, but I'm not so sure. Again, I got an order at 3:30 to close half my PLTR. It needs to push up a ways, though. Yeah, I mean, holding Goog still definitely would have been an option. I wanted it to push, though. I didn't. Hindsight's 2020. Now it's just I didn't know it was going to keep chopping. It looked like it wanted to continue lower, so I wasn't going to mess with it. But still chopping. Yeah, I looked back at last year on this day last year, and I think it was my lunchtime trade was 10 wide. I think my AM number one was like 30 or 40 wide. That was it. They were both winners. Two winners. Yeah, so now he's talking about, looks like we will bring fairness to America. I'm guessing he's talking tariffs now. Maybe that's why we're seeing this. Now it's a little bit of a bump up. We need PLTR to get back up to where it opened. Coinbase, Tesla, Nvidia. I mean, some of these stocks, Netflix, Amazon now, they just aren't moving. It's hard to profit when nothing moves. VIX had that initial bump up, but now it's come back down. Would like to see a push up. These indices, I'd like to see them go somewhat of a direction so then we could feel more comfortable about entering delta neutral. If we can get some type of push and then some chop consolidation. I'm all for chop because I love delta neutral, but well, first off, Chris, you're watching CNBC. That's your first problem. That is not going to have anything positive. Yes, he's still speaking. PLTR not really moving either. Man, come on. Yeah, Goog is trying to push back up. Yeah, they take him off when good things happen. Well, not sure what to think about PLTR here. I'm down a little bit in the trade. I mean, I feel like if this market takes off, it's going to continue to go up because it's resisted going through those lows, but yeah, I could definitely see how an early delta neutral trade would be near its profit target by now. I mean, this is, like I said, this isn't really normal morning price movement, so today probably would have been a day to take advantage of a delta neutral trade out of the gates. And Goog trying to push up now to highs of day, so good hold there, Moel. Hopefully we can get through highs of day. That's what I was looking forward to do. S&P not pushing though. It's threatening to turn in a red bar. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen this type of chop out of the gates. I'm guessing maybe when Trump gets done speaking, maybe that's when we'll see the movement. Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump off, guys, and start looking at maybe some delta neutrals. As far as PLTR goes, I mean, if it breaks down through lows of day, I mean, I'll cut it. Otherwise, I'll just, if we can finally get some up movement, I would just scale out of it. I've got an order at 330. It's currently at 305. I got in at 303, so I don't know. Hopefully we get some movement here, but I'd rather move to delta neutral given the price action that's happening. So I'll see everybody during Power Hour. Have a good one. Peace.